The power of active listening in building a strong team. Don't underestimate it. Good day, amazing YouTube followers. Let's dive into a fundamental skill that can make a world of difference in how we connect with our team. Build that sense of community that's so important in the success of each one of them. We all have goals and dreams, and they're all different, aren't they? But our success is intertwined. Active listening isn't just about hearing words. It's about truly understanding the messages, the concerns, the aspirations behind them. So we need to learn and utilize active listening to get that communication to happen. It builds for us a community, a sense of trust and support and collaboration. So let's dive right in to some tips. But first, let me encourage you to subscribe to my channel and ring the bell to get notified when I do these posts. I do 2 a week, and I'm pretty good about getting them out first thing Wednesday and Friday mornings. But life sometimes happens, you know? So if you've got the notification set up, then you know. And what I'm talking about today and then into next week, as I prepared for today, I realized there are things I want to share further. So lots about how to communicate in such a way as to build that sense of community. And it involves active listening. So here are some tips about how to use active listening in our lives. And let me encourage you to practice this with family, with friends, and, well, even with the person that you just happen to meet out in the public, but primarily with your teams we're going to be talking about today. First, be present. When someone is speaking, give them your full attention. And we're going to talk about eye contact, but right now, every other way, make sure that they have your full attention. If this is an important conversation with your team member, don't let this be a distraction. And let them see you put it on Do Not Disturb. Tell them when you're doing that to help you remember to take it off when you're through with your conversation. So put away the distractions, turn off notifications, and make them feel valued. You know, one of the distractions, back when we used to do a lot more meeting people in restaurants or whatnot that had a TV somewhere, I have to make sure that I sit with my back to the TV. If there's a TV in my area of vision, I'm distracted by it. TVs are just a big distraction for me. So I plan things like that when I'm meeting with someone. One good thing about doing online is that there's no TV in my line of vision. So maintain eye contact with them. That's such a good tool for communicating with people that matter. And shouldn't everyone in our life matter, even if it's the person that we've just met and we're both waiting for someone to help us in the store? Give them your eye contact and make that connection with them. When we're doing videos, eye contact is a challenge, isn't it? Especially what I'm doing right now. I've been doing the live stream videos for several years now, and I've tried different things. What I really like to do, if you want to know the truth, is I really like to write a script and edit it to the point of perfection. actually to the point where you wandered away from perfection, probably. And then I like to read the script. And then I know what I'm going to say, and I say, use the words that I want to use, because when I'm just talking like this, I may have thought of a good word to use in conjunction with one of these points, but I may not remember to use it now. And I have, I've struggled with that. But when I read, and I got pretty good, I was a Toastmaster for years, and it wasn't on camera. It was with a podium, and I had paper on the podium, and it was very much like the setup I have now. There was the audience out there, and there was a podium with the paper on it. Here, my paper is my my monitor screen, and right on top of my monitor is my camera. And I got pretty good at reading and feeling, anyway, like I was being effective. But I think probably people knew I was reading. I was the director of a nonprofit. And here's when I started a switch in what I did. I would do a fundraising challenge at our fundraising banquet. And I wanted to speak from my heart, but I also wanted this perfect script. And I would prepare the script, and there would the paper be on the podium, and I'd be reading it. And I did. I just read it and looked up as much as possible. And I, of course, had practiced it to a point where it was somewhat memorized. And then I don't even know how I came to understand this, but I understood that on occasions when I didn't use a script and I just spoke from my heart, I felt like I was far more effective. And so I have gone through that same learning lesson with what I'm doing now, is that I like everything to be perfect, but it doesn't come across as genuine as when you speak without a script. I just feel like when you don't have a script, you are more genuine. So I've come up with a hybrid. I have an outline that gives me the main points, helps me when I lose my chain of thought. I look down and I say, oh, okay. So it's really important, I believe, to, as much as possible, not read a script. When you're starting out, if that's what you need to do, by all means do it. There is a new technology that I've learned about just in the last couple weeks, and it's a small webcam. It's like teeny, and it has a suction cup. I've seen one without a suction cup that just has a brace. I'm not sure if that's a good word, but anyway, you can position the camera close to the image of whoever you're speaking to. And then it appears that you're looking in their eyes, and yet you can still look in their eyes. Because when I have a Zoom call with conversation with somebody, I find myself wanting to look at their image, but then I'm not looking them in the eye, because when I look at the camera, I'm in effect looking you in the eye. I haven't used that technology yet. I'm still waiting to make sure that I get the right one. I will let you know when I find it, and if you already have that, please let me know. Let me know what you've got and how it works for you. Does anyone have concern about the suction cup damaging the screen? That's one of my thoughts. I don't want to have to replace the screen every 3 months, or wear a hole right in that screen so they can't see. Open-ended questions are a great way to have active listening. If we ask questions that can be answered with a yes or no, that isn't open-ended. And one of the problems with those is that it can feel a little bit like an interrogation if you ask too many in a row. But the biggest problem with a closed question is that you don't get them to answer fully what is on their mind, what is on their heart. And it's like tests. There are true-false tests, there are multiple choice tests, and then there are essay tests. And you might not be terribly surprised to know I like essay tests. I don't like true-false tests questions because sometimes neither true or false quite is right. I'd like to qualify that. But that's another topic. Avoid interrupting someone. When you are trying to have a genuine conversation with somebody, your interruption destroys that. When somebody's in the middle of their essay answer, don't interrupt them. And don't interrupt them with your planning how you're going to respond. That is something that is pretty human. We tend, most of us, I know I am like this, very self-centered. I am so self-centered, and I think about me more than I think about you. And I have to focus on what you are saying when we're having a conversation. So if I find myself thinking about what I want to say to what you're speaking on, I'm not listening to you. And although they don't hear it, I'm interrupting. And I will not catch the full meaning of what they're saying. But I probably will not be perfect in listening and not interrupting. One of the ways that I can correct any wrong assumptions that I've made, any misunderstanding I may have had about what you are really trying to communicate, is by paraphrasing and summarizing. And there's a whole slew of ways to do that. And I don't want to go into that. This is going to be a long enough video. And it dawned on me, I haven't shared this on this platform with you. And so I'm going to do that in my next video, which will be, I'm pretty sure, Wednesday morning. But the best way for you to be sure that you catch it, and I do highly recommend it, it's skills that I was taught, and then I taught to my volunteers at the nonprofit I directed, so that we would listen to our clients in the way that I'm talking about here, and building relationships and truly understanding them and helping them understand themselves. I have seen when you use this kind of listening, people come up with the solution they need and help them then just to act on that. So be sure, and if you haven't yet subscribed to this channel, do that. And when you do that, you get the option of ringing a bell to get notifications. Choose the option to get notified every time I post. Validate and support is important. You've been building a network marketing team for a while, and there are challenges that you've overcome that your new members are still facing. And they may no longer feel like a challenge to you. And one of those is a live video, being on camera, even being on camera with a Zoom call with the team. And you may be tempted to downplay that fear, that reluctance, the struggle that they're feeling. And instead, you need to validate that is a real struggle and say, I get it. I have some ways that I can help you overcome that. But it took time for me to get comfortable with doing live video. And I liked speaking in public, and it still was a struggle for me. So let's take it step by step. You will get comfortable eventually. And that wasn't very validating. And maybe shouldn't be said. Finally, practice patience with me, and patient with yourself, but especially with your team members that might need time to open up. If this is a new person, maybe they've joined your team through someone else's sponsorship and you don't know them. They don't know you. And they may not trust you yet. I know I didn't trust my upline when I first started. And so they need to be patient with me, and we need to be patient with everyone that we're communicating with. And if someone is having a hard time opening up, be patient, give them time, and use some of the skills that I'm going to share with you next week. To conclude, when we practice active listening, we are building a foundation of trust, camaraderie, a sense of community that empowers each member of our team. That's what we want, is for our team to be empowered. When somebody feels empowered, they act on that, don't they? So let's remember that the journey is a collective one. We need to validate everyone and support everyone. I hope this has been helpful for you. Feel free to share it with others and let me know when I hit a home run or when I strike out. I want to hear both. If you have pointers on active listening, comment below. This is Connie Suarez. I'll be in touch.